How you guys been?
Guys, I'm not doing so good. My boyfriend just broke up with me.
I'm sorry to hear that.
You know, I was just reading this article about the hidden joy of happiness.
What was it about?
It was written by Kathleen McGowan. It was about overcoming adversity.
Adversity, that means overcoming hard times, right?
Yes,
Well, whenever I'm down, I listen to this song called You're Only Human by Billy Joel.
That's such a good idea. I should listen to inspirational music. You know, the other day I downloaded this app called Makes Me Think, and it has a lot of inspirational stories.
Oh,
You know, maybe I'm not the only one going through a hard time.
we all have our troubles.
don't worry, you'll be fine.
Thanks, guys. You're having a hard time lately, and you don't feel so good.
You are only human. You're allowed to make your share of mistakes.
You better believe there will be times in your life when you'll be feeling like a stumbling fool.
So take it from me. You'll learn more than you ever could from your accidents, than you could at school.
Hurricanes,
House fires,
Cancer,
wild water rafting accidents.
plane crashes.
vicious attacks in dark alleyways. Nobody asked for any of it.
But to their surprise, many people find enduring such a harrowing ordeal ultimately changes them for the better.
Their refrain might go something like this.
I wish it hadn't happened, but I'm a better person for it.
Today is my 18th birthday. Just over 18 years ago, a woman was faced with the harsh fact that she already had 4 miscarriages and 1 stillbirth. As she was pregnant for the 5th time, the doctors informed her that her pregnancy was risky. They said there was a good chance that either her or her baby would not make it. She decided to give the baby a chance anyway. My mom and I both made it and are still healthy to this day.
We love to hear the stories of people who have been transformed by their tribulations. Perhaps because they testify to a bona fide psychological truth, one that sometimes gets lost amid endless reports of disaster.
There's a built-in human capacity to flourish under the most difficult circumstances.
Positive reactions to profoundly disturbing experiences are not limited to the toughest or the bravest.
In fact, roughly half of the people who have struggled with adversity say that their lives in some ways have improved.
Today, I walked into the kitchen and saw the most beautiful sight. My 18-year-old daughter was eating breakfast. For the past 3 years, she's been struggling with anorexia. Her strength to recover is making me think that this year ahead is going to be beautiful. Today,
I sat down with my 2 daughters, ages 4 and 6, to explain to them that we have to move out of our 4-bedroom apartment into a 2-bedroom apartment for a while until I can find another job that pays well. My daughters looked at each other for a moment, and then my youngest daughter turned to me and asked, "Are we all moving into the apartment together?" "Yes," I replied. "Oh, so no big deal then," she said.
Those who weather adversity well are the living proof of one of the paradoxes of happiness.
we need more than pleasure to live our best possible life.
Our contemporary quest for happiness has shriveled to a hunt for bliss, a life protected from bad feelings, free from pain and confusion.
It turns out that some of the people who have suffered the most, who have been forced to contend with shocks they've never anticipated, and to rethink the meaning of their lives, may have the most to tell us about the profound and intensively fulfilling journey that philosophers used to call the search for the good life.
It's not always easy living in this world of pain.
You're going to be struggling in these walls again and again.
It's alright. Though you feel your heart is going to break, you're only human. You're going to have to deal with heartache.
Just like a boxer in a title fight, you gotta walk in that ring all alone.
You're not the only one who's made mistakes.
Today, at exactly 7:41 a.m., I found out that I will never actually see his face, touch him, or hear him speak again. He was the love of my life.
Today, the truth is, I don't ever want my scars to heal. They remind me every day of what I went through when I was younger and how far I've come. They're a reminder of my strength, and they make me think of all the possibilities that lie ahead.
Happiness is only one among many values in human life. Compassion, wisdom, altruism, insight, creativity. Sometimes only the trials of adversity can foster these qualities.
Because sometimes only drastic situations can force us to take on the painful process of change.
I mean, to live a full human life, a tranquil, carefree existence, it is not enough. We also need to grow, and sometimes growing hurts.
Today, I haven't seen Carrie in 17 years, since she passed away in a car accident on the day of our college graduation ceremony. And I'll never tell my wife that I still think about her almost every single day.
Today, I'm filled with subtle anger about the way I was raised. Very little love, attention, and support. No meaningful conversation with my mother or my father. Ever. Despite living in an upper middle class environment. I'm so conflicted with sadness because my mother has cancer now. And I find myself being the caretaker for her that I wish it was for me during my childhood.
Sometimes you just want to lay down and die. That emotion can be so strong. But hold on.
We're only human. We're supposed to make mistakes.
Don't forget your second wind. Sooner or later, you'll feel that momentum kick in.
Crisis challenges our deepest beliefs. That bad things don't happen to good people. And that life makes sense. That we have control over what happens.
Notably, the people who find value in adversity aren't the toughest or the most rational. Instead, they tend to be ordinary, neither the best nor the worst adjusted.
What makes them different is that they're able to incorporate what happened into their own life.
They are willing to undertake the painful process of thinking who they are and giving up an old script that no longer applies.
Maybe one of the keys to growth is admitting that you've been changed by your experience.
Admitting that you're vulnerable. And admitting that there would have been good things about your life if you hadn't had to go through those negative events.
People don't say what they went through was wonderful. They weren't meaning to grow from it. They were just trying to survive. But in retrospect, they gained more than what they ever anticipated.
Some of these people are living what they thought as their worst case scenario.
And it turns out to be their best possible life.
There's enormous freedom when you find yourself outside of what you always expected to happen.
Ultimately, the emotional reward can compensate for the pain and difficulty of adversity. This perspective doesn't cancel out what happened, but it turns it all into a different perspective.
It is possible to live a well and extraordinary, rewarding life, even with the constraints and struggles we face.
You're not going to be the person you thought you were.
But here's who you are going to be instead. And that turns out to be a pretty great life.